Hi, I'm James Dewees.
Hey, I'm Matt Pryor.
And this is, what's it called?
Project Greenroom.
Oh yeah, cool.
And you're watching it.
Enjoy.
What's also a good thing about it is you get to talk to a lot of acts, a lot of younger acts. You talk to Frank Turner, he was a fan of the Get Up Kids.
Well, that was the weird thing, because like I got his email from Chuck Reagan, and I was like, hey Frank, you don't know me, but like,
Just shoot it out.
just doing this, and he goes, he's a fucking huge Get Up Kids fan. Like he said, his band's first song was a rip-off of Coming Clean. And he goes, I'll play it for you, mate. And I'm like, that's fine.
The accent.
Yeah.
And but do you learn anything from talking to these younger artists? They learned a lot from you guys.
From Evan, I did for sure. He's from around this area too. Yeah. I learned from him on the last tour that we did like there is still that kind of like basement show DIY scene, and it was kind of like with our generation of bands, and then like the bands that came directly after us getting like major label radio bigs.
No, but it's just kids who go. It's like how when we were teenagers, metal in like bad like one-hit wonder songs were like what was huge. Like MTV would play like I can't even think of people. But
that's a good story.
Howard Jones. You know who that
Howard Jones?
Yeah. But like stuff like that where then this punk alternative scene, like when we got into high school, there were like, all these bands like Descendants who would come through Kansas City or like, play shows at the Rumba Box or all the stuff that we started going to where it was like, this is cool.
No, everything goes in these waves.
Yeah. That was, to me, like that was alternative. And now when I see the word alternative on the radio station and it's like Justin Bieber, it's like, the fuck? Like, no, that's not. That's just shitty pop, like whatever. But I think it's cool that it's come back around, and there's kids who are just doing what they want to do. Like there's no one else involved.
Evan has a really pure sort of like. I mean, he's a musician. He wants to be a professional musician, but it's just like he doesn't need to be on TV. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't. He just wants to, like playing the church in Philly. To bring that back again, it's like. Sacred ground. It's like, and God, we've had some weird shows there.
Yeah.
No barricade, just it's hot as hell.
Just like it's a church.
Yeah.
And people seem to forget that it's a church because that should be like, I guess it doesn't matter when you're ready to go see the Get Up Kids in Philly because it was like drunk people and fights.
I specifically remember the first time we played at the Troc that I was so excited there were actual security guards there. And I know that it's like, it sucks if you like want it and like they don't get it, but I was just like, we had so many fights.
Oh yeah.
And so many like, just bad shows.
Show stopping. We had to stop a show, the fire department, the police came.
Yeah, and it's just.
And it's the Get Up Kids.
Yeah, it's like, this is a fucking emo show, dumbass.
As I lay down here.
Yeah.
Slipknot.
It was always weird because it was hardcore dudes coming to check out girls. And then getting in fucking vicious fights.
That was Rick to Life, wasn't it? Wasn't that Rick to Life's quote?
What?
He's like, I like going to these emo shows. There's lots of fucking chicks there.
Chicks, yeah. I'm going to watch the chicks at the emo.
We didn't fit into that at all, but we knew there was a band called Boys Life out of Kansas City, and they started touring just out of the, Maximum Rock and Roll Book Your Own Fucking Life thing. And then they were like, yeah, you guys gotta start doing it. And they gave us a bunch of contacts. I called a bunch of people, and we played in a bunch of people's basements. And then I got to the point where you go, oh, you're from Kansas City? That's where the Get Up Kids are from, right? And like, yeah.
Also with it, I was watching a Tom Petty documentary. He was talking about
the long one?
Yeah, the
like 4-hour one?
Running Down a Dream. And
I did not know how much I liked Tom Petty until I watched that. And I was like, there's no way I can watch 4 hours about Tom Petty. And I was riveted.
Well, the part where he's with Stevie, and there were multiple times recording, and then he runs to the other room, takes the song. Do you ever feel like you're kind of giving away a song that, this is the first time you've done a commission to him, I'm sure.
There's one, the only thing that's come up, I came up with one little gem of a bridge of a song that I'm kind of like, I might go back and email that person and be like, do you mind if I use this in, because I'm writing a solo record now, and he and I have been writing, and I'm like, this is a cool thing, but like most of what people want is sort of like stuff that I've done, and I'm trying to, and so I can write in that sort of style pretty easily, but I would like to try and like push for my own stuff that I'm going to release. I try to like push it a bit. So
yeah, there's always more. It's not like any particular part. I mean, see, like if I could only write 15 songs and then I was just, that was it. Like, and it took me 20 years to write 15 songs and then I gave them away and I couldn't write anything else or whatever. I'd be like, I need these back. But it's music. There's a million different ways to do stuff, and even with like rock music and pop music and even classical music, there's only so many chord structures you can do. So you're going to hear a lot of repeating chord structures. It's all in the melody and the harmony, because if you looked at the mathematic numbers behind a lot of music, you'd be looking at the same numbers. Like all the hits are the same numbers.
Well, they've calculated that. Like,
one
formula.
It's
like every U2 song.
Yeah, no, it's every country song is the same chord progression. Like, it's just that, you alter the melody, the style of singing that's on it, and that's what really separates the music.
Well, and I like the thing with the downright thing because it's almost like just sitting at home playing acoustic guitar, because I don't play a lot of instruments. I can kind of play guitar and piano a little, and it's almost like flexing a muscle, like lifting weights or something, where it's just like, the first time you do it, and it just like goes like shit. And then the more you do it, the better you get at it. And I don't know. I think it's been good for me.
I had an idea about machines doing my work for me.
This is before computers?
Way before computers.
With all these projects, how do you guys keep, you got Reggie going on, you just got the Kickstarter, congratulations.
Excited.
Passed. Is the album almost done?
It's written. I go to record the end of May.
Right.
Awesome. So, doing it with Ed Rose before he retires.
Nice.
And it's the last record recorded at the Black Lodge, which I'm excited about. It's like bittersweet.
You're the one who wrecked it.
Yeah, I'm the one. That was probably the way it'll turn out. Is that I ruined it? I ruined Black Lodge.
That's gonna be a good party that last night of recording.
Yeah, I don't drink or anything.
Juice.
Hey, let's have some seltzer, man. Congratulations.
But how do you guys keep all the solo album, writing these songs? How do you keep it straight? Like, this is a
It's just time management.
Yeah, you gotta make sure you mark your emails right. Going through emails today, and I'm like, this one's for the other band, this one's for the other band. I'm looking for the ones for this, and then all I'm finding is the ones for the other band. It's like,
well, and I find that
checkmarking shit.
I get to a point where I'm like doing work at home, and then I'm like, I try to do some kind of a Facebook or Twitter update every day. He does it like crazy now, but and I get to the point where it's like, okay, it's 2:55, I gotta pick my kids up at 3, and like, fuck, I gotta get on. I have like 7 Facebook pages and 4 Twitter accounts.
Being a musician, it's really funny because it should be about the music. And the music is like 15% of it. 85% of it's fucking social media. Like, how many friends do you have on fucking Facebook? And 6 years ago, it was how many friends do you have on fucking MySpace? Before that, it was fucking Friendster. And it's like, give me a fucking break. Like, you could be the shittiest band in the world with a lot of friends. Like,
that happens a lot.
Some of the Kickstarter projects where it's like, people that raise a ton of money, like, you could be your very first EP and you could have never picked up a guitar, but if you have wealthy enough friends to back it, you could seem like you are the cat's pajamas.
But that's just a more public version of, like, you remember when we'd go on tour and there would always be the one band, like, from Jersey or from Long Island or something, where it was like they all had really sweet gear and like wireless guitars and stuff, and we're playing at a fucking VFW hall.
Yeah.
And they're this far away from their amp, but that was like they had rich parents, like our kid in my high school who had the whole Queensryche drum set with the hanging cymbals, and he just it's just like, man,
high hopes. Because it's.
But what I'm saying is that like the having rich friends and
but it's just funny that
Kickstarter is just
with stuff like that, but like
but my kid just be like, hey Dad, can I borrow $5,000 to make an EP?
My son only plays the best. Like, we're getting you a Paul Reed Smith.
They still make those?
Yeah, but it's funny because really social media has become such a large part of the music industry, and it's like all the people that complain about the social media, ruining the music industry, but yet you still have to do it. So it's like...
Well, but that's the way the music industry evolves. I mean, home taping was ruining the music industry. And then Napster was ruining the music industry. And we're still here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we're still...
stuff.
Yeah, it's evolving the music industry.
And everybody in the music industry that's ruined still emails. It still gets on so...
Well, that was one of the things, though, too, about doing the podcast is, like, besides just wanting to, like, have these conversations, and I think that they're interesting, like, I wanted to be able to, like, put something out every week, you know, and, like, use it as, like, a platform to be like, I'll pimp these shows at the beginning of it, or I'll pimp whatever record I have coming out that month, because I put lots of records out.
Do you feel like you get to get closer to your fans?
With these,
At these, via the podcast, I mean, people comment on it, but I think that maybe they get more out of the interaction than we do.
Replying to them on Twitter or something.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's
I reply to everybody on my Facebook page. And most of the time it's, is this really you? I'm like, yes, because there's like 4 Reggie pages and 2 James Deweeses. And I wrote the other James Deweese and I was like, hey, me. Like,
there's another Matt Pryor, and all he does is take pictures of, like, sunsets. And he puts them on Facebook, and I'm like, he's got to be, like, a religious guy. Isn't life amazing?
Yeah, well, there you go. I like doing these because it's really fun to meet everybody. Like, the people who are our age who've been around since we, were, like, kids, and who also have kids now, and, like, have got a babysitter, and they come out, and this is, like, their night out, and they just want to hang out, and...
We got a sitter rock.
Yeah, and then...
We got a sitter!
And then you meet, like, younger kids who are just getting exposed to it, and, like, just want to come out because they like the music, or they heard it from a friend or something, and it's just cool. I think once the EP comes out, we have to.
Split EP. We talked about doing a record, but we haven't done anything yet. But we did 3 songs.
Coming out next.
It's not going to come out till the end of the summer, so it's probably going to come out
right before,
in conjunction, or right before the Reggie record comes out, and then my solo record comes out. So.
Everybody that I played it for loves it. They all think it sounds like something we would have written in the late '90s, which is a good thing.
Well, we calculated the formula.
Right.
We boiled it down to its component parts.
Yeah.
And lastly, so now you're both married, both have kids, or...
I don't have no kids.
So
dogs. Lots of dogs.
So alright, so dogs still, I mean...
They're as much a pain as the kids are.
How has that changed your scheduling and touring, though? Do you still have...
Right now, my wife's busier than I am, so it's kind of funny because the roles are sort of reversed where she's traveling all the time and I'm at home.
Okay.
And... I'm the one taking care of stuff and like washing the dishes. And it's so different that I actually love the shit out of it. So I'm like, I'm cleaning. And when I'm doing like stuff like that, it makes me, creatively, like, I wrote a Reggie record while I'm like vacuuming the house. It's like, fucking out. Like, I come up with weird stuff when I'm doing that. And I like playing with my dogs and just, normal stuff that I haven't had a chance to do for so long. Yeah, and I love it. It's great.
Then I find that, like, it's hard to, like, jump back into character. It's like, okay, 2:50, I gotta go pick the kids up, and it's just like, okay, now I gotta cook dinner.
Well, like it's weird. Practice.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's you get used to a certain way of doing things, like, your 8 to 3 is your work mat.
And then I was telling him today, like, I get kind of anxiety, like we were driving today, and I was just like, I just get anxiety because it's like, I realize that I'm not home. I liked it when we would do night drives, and you and I would stay up, like, back in the day.
Remember in, like, Kansas when that dude wanted to fight us?
That was
we tried to get coffee, and he was like, "They're gonna serve you."
I remember that.
With a black eye and a fucking, like, bandana tied around his head.
It was in Pittsburgh,
Kansas. Pittsburgh boys like to fight.
And we're like, excuse me, is there a Denny's around here? And like, I don't know where you think you are, boy.
Yeah. He's like, there's a truck stop, and they're probably not going to serve you. Us Pittsburgh boys like to fight. And he's like, we're on our way to Warped Tour. To play at noon. In 103-degree weather and take naps on
that
the
experience.
Bus.
That experience is the reason I've never played Warped Tour since. That was in 1997. Or 1998.
I loved it, but that's, I loved it.
That was at the height of your party.
Oh, yeah. If you're into fucking hanging out all summer, that's the tour. Because it is, like, you get to know every single person. Well, at least for me, I got to know every single merch guy, every single stage dude, every single band, and became, like, best friends with everybody for 2 years. And it was great. But then at the end of it, I was like, I have to go to rehab.
I just
mandatory, like, because in my, everywhere I went, it was like, I'm still on Warped Tour. It never enough calling on Warped Tour friends.
It's December.
Yeah, it's December. Tour's over.